And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Here we are, episode 222 of the Constitutionals Podcast. Hey, I'm multitasking over here. One thing I'm paid to be doing, and one thing is this show. Welcome back, 222. Like I just said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I was singing a parody song of before I started the show. First of all, I gotta turn on the timer. I was singing a parody song of Uptown Girl, and I was just and I do this periodically. Where I sing a song, but I only choose one word or phrase in the song to repeat over and over again. So the part where he goes, "She's been living in a white bread world." I glommed onto that and I said, "Uptown girl, she really wants some white bread now." You know, just things like that. It's not fun or funny, but I enjoy it. I love it. White bread girl, she only eats white bread worlds, and she loves white bread. It's so good. She eats it all the time, and then she poops. And then it's just like that. It's just, when you live alone. It's just things that you get into. Hey, listen, before I drop this episode today, the day that I'm recording it, before that I dropped an interview with Christian Finnegan. Very good interview. I don't know if the camera's off center or not, but it probably is. It feels like it is. I spoke to Christian Finnegan, very funny comedian, and about his new stand-up special, Show Your Work. You should definitely check it out. Also check out the interview. It was shot and recorded at his wife owns a venue called QED Astoria. And speaking of which, I gotta see if this posted. I was just doing so much. My high school reunion this past weekend, and I didn't get a chance because I was working to record this. Interesting. This is a very interesting. I'm loading up. This speaks a lot about my job, but I'm loading up I load up Twitter to see if the thing posted, and I see that. I probably shouldn't get into this because I don't think I'm legally allowed to say anything. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so there we go. Doing this at the same time. Uptown Girl, parody. It's supposed to rain today. It's like a 30% chance of rain. I guess it's not happening. Reunion, all that stuff. All that stuff is happening. Let's get to it. And sweet baby Nova's sleeping. She really needs a friend. She has just been acting out for the past couple of days, week really. So let's get into this first thing. This comes from the Wall Street Journal, written by, I almost forgot how the show works, Ruth Simon. And it's a feature piece talking about a movie theater, and I don't know why called Imagine Woodhaven in Woodhaven, Michigan. I got scared. I said, "Oh no, mommy, movie theater." A movie theater in Woodhaven, Michigan. Obviously, we know that movie theaters struggled during the pandemic. One of the businesses that we thought was going to fail. Not we, that stupid people thought was going to fail. Analysts all over. We think the future is going to be watching people at home, watching movies at home, watching people at home. Yeah, it's like, well, I don't know about you guys. The TV I have, it hones in on a signal. It's like the Truman Show, and I get to watch people. Anyway, so for $20 during the week, between $20 and $25 on the weekend, you get to watch, on weekend and evenings and other peak times, you get to watch a movie, but also get a wristband entitling you to unlimited popcorn, pizza, chicken tenders, soda, candy, or another special. That sounds like a good deal. Or you can just buy a regular ticket for, $12 to $18 or however much that they charge for that. It says 12 here, but I doubt that they would have unlimited food for 20 up to 25, and then you have to spend 12. You can spend $12 less than that. And I saw this piece. I read the entire thing. this, like the moment I saw it was posted, and I thought it's a very good idea. But the owner proprietor of the business, John Goldstein, discussed the ups and downs of doing something like that, and it did not play well for them on Labor Day weekend. The 1,500 tickets sold were half of Mr. Goldstein's target, and he said the theater lost roughly $15,000 a week since opening in July. So starting Friday, instead of bundling the ticket and concessions, he's revising his plan so that he will sell movie tickets and concessions separately. The theater will offer an all-inclusive concession package of $12 for adults and $9 for children, while selling popcorn and soda a la carte. Movie tickets will be $5 to $10 for adults, and there's no way around it. There's the only way these theaters can make money is by selling concessions and hiking up the price. That's why you have a small bag of popcorn for $8, or a large tub. Is that what they call it? Tub of popcorn. It sounds like someone is dragging. No, it sounds like someone's dribbling a basketball as they walk down the highway here. What's it called? Hallway. Because if you don't know, movie studios, they charge a butt ton, up to 60% for ticket sale revenue. So if you own a local theater and you charge, let's say $10, because I'm not good at percentage, I'm not good at math, but if you charge $10 for a ticket, movie theater gets $4, the studios get $6. So you're losing money. So you have to make that back end up. This is why I support my local theaters. I don't care how much a ticket costs, because if I'm choosing to go to a movie, I do care. It needs to be under at least $25. Like I said, I'll go to. I have a Landmark Cinemas, even though that was bought. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have arts, those little arts theaters that play those indie movies that no one else will play. Cry Muchacho. So we've seen these before. Movie Pass did not work out, but that was a nationwide thing, and it was way too little money, and that was doomed to fail from the start. But I think if you're somebody who likes to go to the movies and you want to support, likes to go to movies, wants to support your local theater, and then also has interest in eating the food there, like a good movie, like a movie theater hot dog's really good. AMC's got hot dogs, that's good. The popcorn is typically better than what you make at home, especially because of that flavacol, the type of powdered salt thing they put on their mixture, and the butter is just good. I don't drink sodas, but I think this is a great idea, because if you pay, if I go to AMC right now, and I want to see the new Dune movie, and I want to see it in the big format, the Dolby X Cinemas or whatever the heck it's called. That's going to cost $18 per ticket. I know, because I've already looked at it. And I have to... Oh, man. I have no work on Friday. I wonder if I should go see that movie. Okay, anyway. They're not open during the day, which sucks. But that costs $18. And then popcorn, who gets a small? I can't. I need a large. That's going to be like, what? Another $10. And then candy is $5. And then the water I sneak in... or tea. Last time I saw the new James Bond movie. I rode my bike. I live within biking distance of a big old AMC and the Landmark Arts Cinemas, or whatever the heck it's called. And I bike over to wherever. It's most likely AMC. Bike over to AMC and take this man-made trail called the Beltline. Bike right on over there. Lock up my bike outside the front, have my book bag with me that has, if it's hot, a towel, truly, a mask, hand sanitizer, most likely snacks I'm sneaking in, which I know they probably think of course, I'm a guy walking with a backpack, but also I'm like breathing heavy, so I'm like, give me a ticket. Anyway, it's a very interesting piece, and seeing what Mr. Goldstein is going through, and like hearing it from the inside of the business, really makes sense as to why he's doing this. And soon, because of this deal, so the money he lost is slowly being made come back. The good news for Mr. Goldstein was that the per ticket revenues went up compared to with the period when he last operated the theater. So he's getting some money, not what he was making before, and it's a good deal. People think it's a good deal, and I would personally spend $25 to go to a movie at Imagine in Woodhaven. Imagine Woodhaven in Woodhaven, Michigan. I like it. All right, let's move on to 10 minutes left. Let's move on to The Verge, written by Emma Roth. The MLB may launch streaming service for local games, no cable TV required. So, what we know here is that YouTube TV and Hulu with Live TV, these networks, these platforms rather, have had giant issues with networks wanting essentially more money so that they can provide their bundle of networks on this live TV platform, because nobody wants to do cable. But that would require these live TV platforms to have to raise their prices closer to cable tiers, which is the big issue. And it's obviously, we can say, yes, we're getting back to those numbers, but it's just going to be easier to leave as opposed to having to sign contracts and have equipment and stuff. But YouTube TV has shown, and especially in Hulu, both Hulu and YouTube TV, Hulu Live TV, let me differentiate that, have shown an exceptionally graceful attitude towards not wanting to raise their prices anymore. Because they both used to be 40, and then YouTube TV jumped up to 50 or 55, and then they've both incrementally been adding on, and it's because of networks like the companies like Viacom, CBS wanting to say, hey, we need, if you're going to on our channels, then you have to add, it's going to cost you, $15 more, essentially. We're basically paying another $15 because God, YouTube TV used to be $50. I split it with a friend, and man, oh man, we were both paying 25, riding easy, and now we're both paying like 32, and we're like, man, this is. But we watch a lot of live TV, so. So anyway, that being said, here in the South, all the sports, Fox South, whatever, those local sports networks that used to be on YouTube TV were removed because they just couldn't find an understanding. And it sounds callous, but it's basically one company wanting more money and one company not wanting to gouge the more money than they're already gouging, because they understand $65 is a lot. And so now we have these local networks possibly wanting to offer, and I say networks because it's not just MLB.TV, they might pair up with the likes of the NBA and the NHL, both of whom already have national deals with Warner and Walt Disney. But those are for nationally broadcasted games. That's not local stuff. And also, all three of them, I don't know if NHL does, but both the NBA and MLB already have their own league passes for streaming that you can just buy on their own or go to Amazon channels or YouTube TV or what have you, whatever platform you want to use to subscribe. But again, this is just for local. So if I wanted to watch, I'm here in Atlanta, Hawks games, then the only way I could watch it is if they're on a nationally broadcasted game, or if I'm getting choked up. I'm sorry, I feel like there's something in my nose. They're on a nationally broadcasted game, like on Disney, on ESPN, or if they're on NBA on TNT, or if they're, that's it. Or if I go to a game. And if I didn't have YouTube TV, then watch it on Fox Sports on whatever platform that they're available on. So this new service could cost between $10 to $20 per month. It would be nice to have. It'd be a cool thing to have. But it's just this is just another supplement to MLB.TV, for instance, or NBA League Pass. It's going to launch as early as 2023, and that's truly all we have. But this is right now a theoretical idea. that the MLB.TV is working on reportedly. Let's move on to this next thing. Speaking of sports, this comes from The Spun by Sports Illustrated. Matt Aldillet report Disney considering spinning off ESPN. So we've already seen a spinoff this year. It's Warner Media is being spun off by AT&T to merge with Discovery. These are reports cited from Puck News on Friday afternoon. Disney considering a, quote, strategic rationale for spinning off ESPN. I'll read you the tweet here. That's from two sources with the knowledge. This is the tweet from Dylan Byers. Quote, there are now conversations happening regularly at Disney about whether or not to spin off ESPN. Bob Iger, as I like to call him, is very sentimental when it comes to, wanting to keep things within the family. In large part, besides the money thing, the monetary aspect of it all and the building the universe, that's why, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was brought back over to Disney because of, or brought over to Disney rather, is because of, wanting to keep everything together. That's Iger's a very good businessman because he thinks, while also thinking logically, he thinks with his heart. And, as we get deeper into the Chapek dynasty, I think, I'm thinking more of along the lines of, man, I think Bob Iger, I'm getting kind of reminiscent of Bob Iger because he was very good at what he did. And that's also because he relied on people that are also good at what they do. Kevin Feige, the people that run the networks, so bringing in new blood, young blood too, a lot of the time. So, but when it comes to Bob Chapek, he's a really there's no sentimentality about him. He's just like, let's do this for the money because when he came from the business world, especially came from the business side of Disney, which is the parks, which there is no place, there's no space for imagination. Oddly enough, because when you're at Disney parks, you gotta stay in character. Things have to be a certain way, and it's like this family aspect, like this family business aspect, versus over at Disney proper with the movies and the TV show, Disney Creative, as I'd probably like to call it. There's a little bit more wiggle room to play and everything, but for the day to day at a theme park, you got to make that money, that shmoney, as the people say. And so, from Chapek's eyes, and I don't know if this makes sense, but that's it makes sense for him to spin off ESPN into a different type of company. I guess I don't know. I'm going to quote this piece. That logic stems from the belief that ESPN, who is currently locked into several long-term TV deals, will have a tougher time transitioning into the streaming world than some of Disney's other partners like ABC, FX, Nat Geo. And when I read this initially, I thought that does make sense. But as you think about it more, you look at ESPN Plus. I don't know if there was red tape trying to bring it over to Hulu, because you can subscribe to, or you can watch ESPN Plus content via Hulu. Yeah, I said that word. The worst cuss word you could say. Whereas before you could only watch it either via the TV app or via the phone or mobile app, and that was just a hassle to do. But as I'm further removed from it, we already had what's the live thing, the live aspect. Yeah, obviously streaming live sports is a contractual nightmare, but going further into reruns or dealing with the video on demand aspect, like the 30 for 30s or I was going to say the Be Water documentary, but that is 30 for 30. The 30 for 30s or Peyton's thing or Kobe's show. That should be treated like any other show, or any other property, I guess, any other project. It just doesn't make sense that, I know the streaming a live sport sports thing like Monday Night Football, you know, can cost you money or can earn you money, but or you lose money by not airing it. But it's, people are going to find a way to watch that regardless. And just because it's like, even if it's on ABC, you're still going to get the viewers versus, if it's on, or if it's on ESPN, you're still, and someone subscribed via cable, you're still going to get the numbers regardless. If I watch it on YouTube TV, which I would never watch a college sporting thing, they're kids. They need to go to college and learn. So how many of them, whatever. Anyway, but if I'm going to watch the Rose Bowl, I'm still going to watch it on YouTube TV. You're still going to get the viewer. You're still going to get the money. I'm still going to see the ads. You're going to get the ad dollars. It doesn't make sense to me. All right, let's move on. This next one, speaking of spinoffs, comes from Alex Sherman over at CNBC. Some top Warner Media execs never liked the name HBO Max. The Discovery deal will give them a chance to change it. The key points, and I love that CNBC does this because I don't have to go down. CEO Jason Kilar and a bunch of others never liked HBO Max. Now, I think the name is good. I think it has the HBO moniker. It's not plus. It's different. How many pluses are there? Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus. I named two. But I like the idea that it sits in a world of its own. What are they going to call it? HBO streaming or something? I don't know. I'm probably going to say that. AT&T CEO John Stankey and then Warner Media chairman Bob Greenblatt, who I believe was over at NBC prior to this, named the service HBO Max to highlight the product's premium HBO content, but the service has a lot more non-HBO content than it did, such as shows like Person of Interest, which I believe has been sitting on my list since day one, and other things like Happy Endings, I believe, is on there as well. I might be wrong. It's on Hulu and Netflix now. Also, I own 3 versions of the entire series. That is not a joke. I own digital, DVD, Blu-ray. Merging with Discovery will probably change the name. And then we know at some point, next year, early next year, they're going to be dropping the HBO Max app and releasing a new version of it. And then obviously we're going to see at some point a mix of, well, not a mix, but maybe a bundle of Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Do you remember when HBO Go was a thing and HBO Now was a thing? HBO Go was the cable login streaming for the cable, and then HBO Now was just the regular HBO subscription. And then HBO Max came out, and then they were like, if you have HBO Go, you can use HBO Max. If you have HBO Now, you'll soon use HBO Max, but not yet. You have to wait. Oh my gosh. I don't know where the names could go. I think Max is fine. Just nothing is perfect. It's Apple TV Plus. That's stupid. I like some of the shows they have on there. All 6 of them. I like 2 of the 6. No, they should keep a limited amount of shows. I'll go off on a little tangent right here. I don't know if Apple TV Plus is going to be what they need it to be. Setting aside $1 billion and paying for shows like Invasion and Foundation, which look amazing and they are well written and well crafted and just truthfully, they're so well made. I don't know if the subscriber count is going to grow to the paying subscribers as much as they need, and I think at some point they're going to start charging more than $5. But I think $5 for what you get, the movies and shows you get over at Apple TV Plus, just astounding. And they put out new stuff it's not at a pace of Netflix where it's overwhelming and you're going to miss something. And I think it's more like akin to how Disney does it. Disney Plus does a really good job of putting things out on a weekly basis, and it's not too much. I think weekly is the way to go. That's how, Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. Man, that was a good show to, I don't know what days it came out because I usually watch it 3 days later, but or sometimes not at all. But it was very fun to load up the app and go and see that splash page with Only Murders in the Building. That's why I think Hulu does it right. Still my favorite, even though they move my stuff. This next one comes from Variety, written by Todd Spangler. Spotify opens video podcasts to all creators on, quote, a rolling basis. So Spotify has been doing this push for podcasting for the past couple of years. They've gotten Joe Rogan, who has video podcasts. They've got an armchair expert with Dax Shepard and his second wife / assistant. I don't listen to this show, and I don't know why I had to throw a little stab at him. And I do feel bad because I do like Dax. I'm not a fan of the show. Not a fan of many podcasts anymore. It just dropped off after it got popular. And then they bought Gimlet. And so video podcasting has been a very big part of podcasting for the past maybe 5 years. If podcasting has been popular since 2000, or not popular, excuse me, podcasting has been around since like 2006 with Never Not Funny and the shows that came like that with it. And then in 2000, when did Serial? I was going to call it Murder. When Serial came out in 2012 or 13, something like that, let's say, I'd say videos started getting popular a little bit after that. I don't want to move my head like Stevie Wonder, but watch the video. Speaking of which, I'm doing video. I do video as well. And so now, I think really the only big video podcast was Joe Rogan, or is Joe Rogan rather. And then, moving him from YouTube and like having him be an exclusive podcast it is getting dark outside. It has gone. My screen has gone from bright to dark, or light behind me. So having him go from, I don't know if his YouTube channel still posts video links. I think they do, maybe. And I don't know if you can. You could probably watch. I'm not going to check, but you could probably watch videos of Joe Rogan's show on Spotify. So they're slowly opening this up to everybody else. They've been on this huge push of everybody could do podcasting. That's why they bought Anchor. And soon, you're going to be using Anchor, the audio publishing platform, to distribute videos directly onto Spotify. Apple has been supporting video podcasts since 2005. I think, I subscribe. I have Never Not Funny. And I subscribe to another show called The Teacher's Lounge, and both of which I paid for. And I never find myself wanting to just watch the videos. Which the only time I watch the videos is if I have this like specific need. But the option is there, and that's good, and that's the point. I don't think, people, they treat these as TV shows, which, good for you, but I have no interest in doing that. I don't want to, because it's a lot of space on your phone. Like 500 megabytes? Come on. You know how many playlists I could have in that span? I don't know. So with video podcasts, Spotify says fans can get to know their favorite podcast hosts even better, and creators that can connect with an audience in a much deeper way. Yeah, creators will also be able soon to be able to monetize Spotify video podcasts via the company's podcast subscriptions feature by making vodcasts, Jesus Christ, available exclusively to paying members. In addition, podcast, but remember with that if you do something like the in Spotify subscription paid model or the in Apple Podcast subscription, yes, it's easier, and yes, it's a surefire way to just get the subscribers immediately, but you have to pay them a percentage of money, which I would rather, go to a professional company that does things like I use Pinecast, and I can throw out bonus content or what have you. I don't think they do video, but I can do bonus content and stuff like that. Or I can make episodes that were released before this paid only. I'd rather give them the money than give it to Apple or Spotify, because then you're just cutting out a segment of the audience. And obviously, a majority of your listeners come from just listening, just Apple people just going, okay, I'll listen on Apple Podcasts, but you know, there's Android exists too. Speaking of which, I got crapped on because I have an Android phone and we're trying to take pictures and people are like, oh, Android sucks. Oh, Android sucks. Android's great. Android's wonderful. I love Android. And they took the pictures on portrait mode, so that's why it was slow. Hey, let's keep continuing. Keep continuing. These next two are about Netflix, and I think they're the same story, but yeah. First one's up from Rick Porter over at the Hollywood Reporter. Rick Porter at Hollywood Reporter. I'm sure he's dealt with that. Netflix, hey, so far I have not gotten a work notification, so I'm sitting on cloud nine. Netflix to change how it measures a title's viewers post Squid Game. So we know that Squid Game is the most popular show, and you know what? This is what I hate. This is what I hate about these hyperbolistic. And I'm not being hyperbolistic right now. I hate this. I do not like this. I hate it a lot. When like I just watched a review for the Google Pixel 6 Pro, and someone said this is the best Android phone you can get now. And then before that, the Apple 13 Max Pro Max review. This is the best iPhone ever. You know. But then a year ago, they said the same thing about the iPhone 12. Same thing about the Galaxy S21 Ultra. The same, and it's just like, come on, we gotta stop saying this. And so when Netflix says this is our most successful show, yeah, obviously. Stranger Things was your most successful show, and then I'm gonna make up a show. I don't think Lock and Key was, but Lock and Key was your most successful show, and then now this. So stop it with the. I hate that. Like when you're watching sports, and LeBron, yesterday was Tom Brady's 600 touchdown. I hate it when they're like, this is Tom Brady's only won Monday Night Football games when they're the third Monday of October, and he's playing with his left shoes dipped in red paint. It's just, I hate that. It's so stupid. Don't have a conversation. It's like when I'm watching the news, or like I'm watching like morning news shows, and they do like a serious story, and they go, and then 16 babies were murdered in the middle of a bowling alley. And then the next story is, up next, this video went viral on TikTok. I hate that. That's so stupid. And I worked in the news, and I hated that. I hated when they did that. And I hated having to, pitch stories like that. So it's inane. And I'm not saying everything has to be dour, but look at PBS NewsHour. If everything was PBS NewsHour, we would be living on cloud. Everybody would be so smart. I'm not saying I'm smart because I watch it, but I'm saying the world would be much better off. All right, so Netflix is changing the way it releases, it talks about its data. So we typically, Netflix never releases data unless they're trying to bolster their quarterly reports, which typically they gain subscribers, but a lot of the time in the past couple of years, they've been not hitting their targets. So in order to make those reports not seem as bad as they seem to be for investors' sake, so that investors still give more money to Netflix, and creditors too, then Netflix will release metrics and say Made had the biggest premiere of a show on Tuesdays more than anything that we've ever put out. And they'll put in like vague numbers, like upwards of 20 million people watched the first 40 seconds, which is something they really do. Like they'll say, like for Dave Chappelle's horrible special that just came out, which is, I think, the worst stand-up special I've ever seen. It wasn't even stand-up. It was just hate speech for 72 minutes. God, it was so bad. But they said like it was a most watched special, and like, so many million odd people watched the first 4 minutes or something like that, and insane. So Netflix says it will report total hours viewed within 28 days of release, rather than 2-minute view metrics it's used for the past couple of years. So they're hopefully getting away of that 2-minute thing, getting away from that. And I think that's going to have more realistic numbers if you get away from the 2 minute thing. It'll also, quote, more regularly release hours viewed counts. Hours viewed counts. Yeah, that's true. So the members and the industry can better measure success in the streaming world. So, I mean, I guess it seems like they were admitting to, speaking of Tom Brady, inflating their view count. I'm full of references from 3 to 4 years ago. The company switched to a 2 minute standard with the fourth quarter of 2019. Prior to that, it counted any member account that completed 70% of a movie or 70% of a single TV series episode as a view, which I think is a better measurement than what they're going to do now. Because 70% of a movie, you watch the whole thing. There's so many movies that I have stopped on streaming services that I've or fallen asleep during, and I've gone back to rewind those parts and pause at the exact moment I remember last. And like the movie Freaky, I fell asleep. I was watching it and fell asleep, and I don't remember the last 30 minutes, but I'll watch it before it leaves HBO Max. 70% is a much better metric than whatever they're about to do. Oh, I just got a reminder to do the Constitution, so I'm doing it right now. This is which comes on the heels of Bloomberg report last week that featured 2 weeks ago that featured more detailed viewing and financial data than Netflix usually shares for individual titles. Those are leaked, they think, by somebody at the company. Internal documents cited, if you don't know that story, please go read up on it or watch the news and don't watch the special. Internal documents cited in the story say Squid Game could create nearly $900 million in value for the company, despite costing only $21.4 million to produce, and that 2/3 of the Netflix users who started the series finished it within 23 days. Netflix says the series racked up 142 million views over the first 28 days of release. See, that's so good. Like that sounds more complete than saying 200 million of our subscribers watched the first 3 minutes of 2 episodes, smashing all previous records at the streamer. The previous high for any title was 99 million for the Chris Hemsworth action movie Extraction. Among series, it was 82 million for Bridgerton. That's 142 million is 2/3 of the 213.56 million global subscribers. So that means that show did really well. The company also cited returning series Money Heist had 69 million views. Sex Education had 55 million. Made had 60 is projected at 67. I think these numbers are only going to get better as they get more talent and as they get better at advertising. I still think that they're not really good at advertising. There's a show called Inside Job, which I didn't know existed until a couple of weeks ago. I loaded up the app and I was sometimes look at the trailers and I saw it sitting there and I went, oh, that's an interesting show. And I didn't know when it came out because you have to sit. They don't tell the date until the end of the trailer, and I'm not going to sit there and watch 2 minutes on my phone. And then and Maya and the Three, which I'm excited. I want to see. I like a good animated kids show, and that tells us a decent story, and that looks like one of them. God, it's gotten so dark outside. It's 4. Okay, so let's see what this next article is about because I kind of just added to it. This comes from Variety, written by Cynthia Littleton. Netflix to reveal more viewership data as a streamer changes plans. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so this person has more quotes. Look at that. Did not put a gender on that. Look, I'm learning. We're all learning. So Bridgerton, we do have more numbers. Bridgerton hit 625 million hours of viewing across the platform in its first month. Wow. Man. 625. When you put in hours, that's the... Whew. This comes from the CEOs wrote in this paper that they sent out. We think engagement, as measured by hours, viewed as slightly better indicators for the overall success of our titles and member satisfaction. It also matches how outside services measure TV viewing and gives proper credit to rewatching. That is, yes, proper credit to rewatching is very important. And also considering how what people say on Twitter and Instagram and like on social media in general when they use hashtags and stuff like that. It makes sense that they're going for the hours thing because Nielsen, as we have been talking about, and as I'm gearing up for the final story of this year's News Time, uh, it's about Nielsen ratings and how everybody just kind of all the networks and studios just want to leave that system or start another system. And we've got companies like Viacom, CBS about to jump in on different companies because Nielsen is much harder to track. The letter cited Nielsen's estimate that Netflix accounted for about 6% of total TV watching time in the U.S. in September, compared to 6% for YouTube, 3% for Hulu, 1% for Disney Plus, and 9% for a group dubbed, quote, other streaming. That is the title of this episode. Other streaming. That's so disrespectful. I like it when like Xbox or PlayStation will release the PS5, and then Microsoft will send out a tweet via Xbox. Congratulations, PlayStation, on on releasing PS5. We hope we hope you're doing well or something like that. Just like some toxic relationship stuff. Same thing. They'll do the same thing for Nintendo. Nintendo will do the same thing for Microsoft. Don't think Sony does it for Xbox or PlayStation does it for Xbox. But I like it. Everybody offers different things. Look, I watch 3 to 4 shows on or reluctantly one on Apple TV Plus. The reluctant one is Central Park. It's not good. It's not. But Foundation, I have Invasion up in the hopper, and then obviously Ted Lasso. I was gonna say Jed something. I was gonna say Ted Lasso. I forgot his name for a second. Which I still have not finished. Who cares? No, there's other streaming to watch. Other streaming so disrespectful. But I believe it was Keelar or Stanky or somebody. I think it was somebody who works at HBO Max, one of the big wigs, that said, we want to be supplemental to Netflix. We're not looking to beat them. But that was when HBO Max launched. I don't think they're thinking that way now. We don't. Anyway, there's different shows. Apple TV Plus offers something more grandiose and broad than what Hulu offers, and Disney offers a lot more child-centric stuff than what I don't know, what other streaming Paramount Plus offers. So whatever. So yeah, there you go. You can read up on these reports. You can see these numbers in action. Again, if you want to see me talk to Christian Finnegan, which I hope you should, you can head to the website, cpluscomedy.com. Also, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can see me sit down with him, face to face over camera. He's a great guy. I've seen him. I saw him on Comedy Central Presents, and yeah, I'm just excited. I just had a burp that tasted like an apple. You can also listen to that interview on this podcast feed, this RSS feed. So if that toots your horn. Audio versions get a very special introduction done by me, because I don't just post interviews. I lead up to them. I make them a whole experience, baby. And what else? YouTube.com/cpluscomedy to see a video version of the show, because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to see me sitting in a Hawaiian shirt, one ear, ready to see what's going on my laptop? And I know what I just said. My ear is seeing what's going on the laptop. I just want to hear notifications. Also on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, you can see a video show called News Time, which is a weekly news series where I take a story and I run with it, baby. What was the last episode I did? Something. Oh, it was NHL. NHL is on TV. They have a new contract with TNT, with Warner rather, and with Disney. Instead of they were typically with NBC for 14 years, for a couple of years. So about almost 2 decades, sounds like. But now they're back with Disney, and Warner has joined in, and you're going to be able to see. Speaking of sports streaming on ESPN Plus. You're going to be, you're going to be able to see NHL games streaming on ESPN Plus. Soon enough, HBO Max, as well as NBA on TNT, NHL on TNT, and on ESPN and ABC. So there you go. Twitter, Instagram at Seebles Comedy. Me on Twitter and Instagram at Chad Black and White. Like us on Facebook. Rate, review, subscribe. Tell your friends about this show. Thank you so much for listening. I was about to press stop recording. But now I'll just play the outro. Goodbye.